Live, and I wanted to talk to you about this coronavirus pandemic because these are just becoming more and more frightening. Last night I did a video and I came to you and I said that there was 5,800 deaths. Somehow, some way, I don't even know how. I woke up today and when I looked at the numbers and the death toll, it jumped. 167,638 cases worldwide now. 6,456 deaths. 600 deaths overnight. It's the morning still. 76,596 recoveries. So there are recoveries, thank God. And for all of those that have passed away, may they all rest in peace. But seems to me like the death toll is rising fast at a very alarming rate. And we are now in 157 countries and territories and one ship. But the thing that's really caught my attention is that China is saying that they only had 25 cases overnight and they're at 80,849 reportedly. That they have 3,199 deaths and only 10 deaths overnight, which is fantastic. So apparently they are getting better. But can they give the memo to Italy as far as what they're doing? Because Italy is now up to 24,747 cases, 3,590 cases overnight. 3,590 cases overnight puts them far ahead of anyone else in the world by almost 200%. 1,809 deaths in Italy, reportedly 3,199 in China. So Italy is more than 50% of the way to catching up to China. 368 new deaths in Italy overnight. 368 new deaths overnight in Italy? Iran is at 13,938 cases. Italy at 24,000. China at 80,000. Iran had 1,209 cases overnight. Terrifying. 724 deaths. Terrifying. 113 overnight. Terrifying. 4,590 people have recovered in Iran. 66,931 have recovered in China. The scary part about Italy is that 2,335 people have recovered, but 1,809 have died, including 368 overnight. And they had 3,590 new cases overnight. It is spreading like wildfire in Italy. South Korea is fourth in the world with cases, 8,162, 76 new cases, 75 total deaths, including 3 overnight. Spain now is in lockdown. They have 7,798 cases, the fifth largest in the world, 1,407 overnight, second largest in the world, only behind Italy with 3,590 new cases overnight. 292 deaths, fourth largest in the world, behind China, 3,199, Italy, 1,809, Iran, 724, and then Spain is next, 292 deaths, including 96 overnight, which only puts them behind Italy, 368 overnight, and Iran, 113 overnight, and then we find Spain at 96 overnight. Then we have Germany, who has now 5,795 cases, 1,196 new cases, 11 deaths, 2 new deaths overnight, but apparently only 2 in serious or critical condition, and 46 have recovered in Germany. France has 91 deaths, 30 new cases overnight, and 4,499 cases. And then comes America, now in the top 10. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, eighth most cases in the world, 3,313 total cases, 370 new cases overnight, 63 deaths now in in the United States, and 3,191 active cases. 59 have recovered in America so far. Switzerland is after the United States with 2,211 cases total, 842 new ones overnight, frightening numbers, 14 deaths. 2,199 active cases and 4 people have recovered. Then the UK finalizing the top 10 in the world with coronavirus cases, 1,372 cases, 232 overnight, and 35 deaths so far in the UK, including 14 overnight, 18 recoveries. I'm in Canada. Canada is growing quickly. 313 total cases, 61 new cases overnight, and apparently so far 1 death reportedly. And then followed by Australia. So, and then Portugal. I have lots of family and they're right beside Spain. So I'm very scared for Portugal because they had 76 cases overnight. And they're right beside Spain, which is having a major breakout, and they are now in lockdown. The numbers in Italy are absolutely frightening. What do you guys think? What do you guys think about this? Thank you guys for joining me. How you doing, Dylan? It's pretty scary, right? Sharky Tor says, inevitably another drop in the market's coming. Well, we're talking about a loss of human life, a death toll that is going to shock the world. So right now, futures are down. So I do anticipate we're going to be red tomorrow. However, with the Fed pumping in trillions of dollars into the market, we don't necessarily know what will happen 100% in these markets because these markets have been having record days down and record days up. So I do anticipate we're going to go into a recession. I do believe that this could turn into a depression depending on how long it takes for a vaccine. We need a vaccine and we need one soon. So, however, we don't want a vaccine that is going to create terrible side effects. So we need to be careful. The Food and Drug Administration, the FDA, is under a lot of pressure, and the whole world is under a lot of pressure to find a cure. We need to be careful, but I do believe that this is going to affect everything. And I've been reporting on this for 7 weeks now, and everything just keeps getting worse. Everything just keeps getting worse. So China is reportedly getting better. South Korea is reportedly getting better, but nobody knows if that is 100% true. Hopefully it is. If it is true, they need to share whatever's working with them with the rest of the world because the rest of the world is in serious, serious fear, panic. People are buying toilet paper. People are buying food. People don't know what's coming. People don't know how to prepare. People are fighting over toilet paper. People are scared, as they should be. There are people that are dying, so people should be scared. But we need to be smart. We need to find ways to generate income from home. We need to be prepared. We need to stock up on food. We need to be prepared to stay indoors. I saw a video in Spain from one of my friends who is in lockdown in Spain, and it was just him recording from outside his window, and there was a man on the street, and the police surrounded him and said, "Why are you outside?" and told him to go inside. So we need to be prepared to go inside, whether we like it or not. And we need to start preparing for it mentally, physically, emotionally, financially, in every way, shape, or form. We need to prepare for it because this is very real. And whether it has hit our communities or not, it's in 156 countries right now. So we have to be prepared for this to knock on our door. And it's something we've been talking about now for 7 weeks. And the reality is, we still don't have a cure. There are companies that are saying they have a cure, but we need to get FDA approval and we need to make sure that the vaccines are not going to have long term dangerous side effects. And we don't know because we're trying to rush a cure. This is my fear. So Sharky says, inevitably another drop in the market's coming. That's very likely. Denlaz says, I am up 120% since I started shorting thanks to Corona. What about that short squeeze on Friday? I know you were talking about covering your shorts on Friday? You going back to shorting on Monday? Denlas says, is Aurora a good buy now? Um, I think there's a lot of good buys, but everything could go lower, right? So it's very hard to tell. I mean, there's a lot of people that are getting into cash right now. There's a lot of people projecting a recession. So I believe the markets could definitely go lower. They could also go higher because everything is really badly beaten up. But I would say there's a much higher likelihood that the markets go down tomorrow. I would say about 70% sure that the markets are going to go down tomorrow. And futures right now are down. So I'm anticipating the market's going to be down, but at the end of the day, at any point in time, the Fed could pump the markets up. So it's not that easy just to say short the market, especially when the market has just come off of all-time highs and has been in the middle of a market melt up. The only reason why the market is going down right now is because of the coronavirus. Some people are going to say it's oil. I believe it's the coronavirus. I believe the coronavirus is bigger than the oil issues. But that's just me. Some people say I'm crazy and it's all about oil. What do you guys think? Excuse me. Sharky says, maybe, I mean, why not buy ACB? It's so cheap because it could go cheaper. We're in the middle of everyone pulling their money out because they're worried about buying supplies and food. They're not worried about stocks. So the first thing they're going to do is they're going to sell their stocks so they can buy food and toilet paper. This is the reality of what's going on. There's a reason why the markets are going down. People are pulling money out of the markets. Alexander Carpenter says, stay safe. Yes, stay safe, everybody. Self-quarantine. It's the smartest thing you could do. Robert says, gonna buy some masks. I would say self-quarantine is the smartest thing you can do. I don't see how masks are going to help you. Just avoid people. Alexander Carpenter says, it's 8 weeks. Have I been reporting for 8 weeks? I think I've been reporting on this for 7 weeks now. Joshua, hey Josh, how you doing, brother? Says these numbers are increasing fast now. Wow. Yes. It's frightening. And we need to take it very seriously. People have been joking about this and nobody wanted to take it serious. And now people are realizing the severity of the situation. And if you look at the death toll in Italy, how could you not be concerned? Would you want to come in contact with the virus that is killing 50% of the people that are being 50% of the people have recovered and 50% of the people have died. Like there's 2,300 that have recovered and there's 1,800 that have died. That's frightening. Those numbers are scary. So about what, 60% are dying and 60% are recovering and 40% are dying? That's a huge percentage. Why is it so high in Italy? Dylan Fraser says South Korea was given praise how they are handling this. Yeah, South Korea and China apparently are getting better. Why are they not sharing what's working for them with the rest of the world? I hope they do before it gets really, really scary here in Canada and the United States, because it's starting to get scary in Europe. And, you know, I got a lot of family in Portugal and they're elderly, a lot of them. And it's right next door in Spain. It's in lockdown. So very concerned about what's happening right now all over the world. Dylan says gas price 74.9 in Edmonton. Yeah, gas prices are getting cheaper. That's the one positive. Donald Trump says, look, it is a tax break, right? A lot of people want to say that the reason why the economies are struggling and the markets are going down is because of the price of oil. I think it's because of the coronavirus. I don't see how people are still sitting there saying that this is about oil when Italy is in lockdown and thousands of people have died. It's crazy. But some people are still going to say it's about oil. Everybody has their opinion, right? Josh Kushki says U.S. cases above 3,000 as of 30 minutes ago. It's growing very fast, not just in the United States, but in Canada too. Canada has over 300, and the United States is 10 times the size of Canada. We can't stop the spread of this. If you guys haven't recognized this, the spread of this is going to happen whether we like it or not. Flying people in from Wuhan was the stupidest thing our prime minister could have done. And I respect the fact that Russia closed their borders, and that's why they have very little cases. And I respect the fact that Trump closed his borders, and he's closing his borders and he's closing travel, which is smart. It's the only way to stop the spread of this. I said global travel ban 6 weeks ago, 7 weeks ago. I said global travel ban. Nobody listens to me. Everybody laughed at me. People went on vacation. Now those people are rushing to come home. I just don't understand how anybody goes on vacation at a time like this. It's just people are just, I don't understand. But at the end of the day, people want to get cheap flights. There's a reason why those flights are cheap, people. Think about it. Because nobody's going. People are staying home. People are staying safe. Better stay safe than it's better to be safe than sorry, right? In a time like this, because you're talking about your health. Your health is your wealth, guys. Without your health, wealth means nothing. Your health is your wealth. Rodrigo says take on INO and OPK. Yeah, OPK looks pretty good, and so does INO, but INO is right now being investigated for securities fraud thanks to our friends at Citron Research. So be very careful with INO. I was very excited about INO. Now that they're on the radar from Citron Research, I think that there are maybe some other opportunities out there that might be better. So I would be careful. Invest with caution. I just want to make you guys aware that there are shorters that are feeding off of my picks. So just realize when you're buying anything that we talk about here in Rich TV Lives that they're literally shorters that make a living off of shorting my picks. Specifically, Andrew Left. He said it himself. He makes a living off of shorting my picks. He loves it. He lives for it. So just be careful. Remember, Rich TV Live is strictly for education and entertainment purposes. I only been in this game for 3 years. Not looking to try to go head to head with guys that have been in for 30, right? That's why we're looking to play with bigger plays now. That's why I'm investing in companies and talking about it publicly, like Visa, MasterCard. And I'm going to continue to. If those people want to short those picks, then let them short those picks. They'll create buying opportunities for our community. That's the way I look at it. We're going to invest in the best as we move forward, and we're going to create wealth for ourselves. But remember, right now, our health is our wealth. So stay safe, everybody. Stay indoors. You can join the academy. You can trade from home. I'm going to show you guys over the next few weeks how you can make money from home. So stay tuned. We're going to be doing all kinds of videos. Maybe one earlier today. Later today. So stay tuned. I'm going to just keep you guys updated on ways to make money from home, even in the worst of times. I don't know says, why is there a shortage of toilet paper? Does Corona give you the runs? No, people are buying toilet paper because they're worried that they're going to be stuck at home. And there's a lot of rich people here in Canada, so they're hoarding toilet paper, which those people that are hoarding toilet paper, even though it's kind of smart, you guys should be ashamed of yourselves. Have some respect for your fellow human beings. Have some respect for your fellow human beings. Share, consolidate, rations, be smart. Don't treat each other like animals. We're smarter than that. Those stores will continue to stock up the shelves, guys. Don't be stupid. Don't be silly. There isn't a global shortage of toilet paper. There's just a global shortage of intelligent people. There's no shortage of idiots in this world. That's for damn sure. And Walmart and and Costco will continue to sell toilet paper and continue to sell all kinds of different products. So don't you guys worry. Dylan Fraser says, if I live near a coast, I'd buy a boat and stay out in the water. Yacht, water covers 70% of the earth. You'd never find me. Yeah, some people are probably going to do that, but you have to be careful. There's pirates. And those pirates will rape and pillage you on the water because there's nobody protecting you. So be careful because that's a real thing too. A lot of them come from Somalia where they're very poor and they just don't care. They're ruthless. So just be careful. If you think I'm lying, do some research on it. Rodrigo says Rick 2020. Dylan Fraser says, I'm very sure oil has something to do with it, but very little. I'm sure cheap oil only hurts oil companies. Everyone else loves cheap gas. Well, it does hurt the Canadian banks because the Canadian banks are very heavily invested in oil. And oil is a very big part of our economy here in Canada and in America. So it does hurt the banking system here in Canada. But that could also create buying opportunities. Trump said that, the oil prices are so cheap and they're going to buy it all up and they're going to be producing more oil in America. So understand that when there's issues in China, it's going to create more opportunity for companies in Canada and the United States to get into selling toilet paper. We got tons of trees here in Canada. We can create toilet paper. We can sell toilet paper. So at the end of the day, one country's loss is another country's gain. If there's going to be products that aren't going to be exported from China, then those products can be created in Canada and the United States. There will be opportunities created through all of this. We just need to be smart enough to recognize them and identify the patterns before they become a pattern. Q Phillips says, Rich, Q reporting from Cobb Country, Georgia. First Georgia case, 3 minutes. From my house, FDA approvals on American companies that have viable rapid test kits. How long can these approvals take? We'll take a look at Roche. Take a look at my video on RHHBY. I fully expect them to explode tomorrow. Watch my videos, man. I stay on top of this more than anybody else on the planet, and that's a fact. Fernando says, Rich, what's your thoughts on TBT? Looks like the US dollar is going up, even though SPY is down so much, including gold and especially silver. I'll be trading in a couple hours and have a better idea of what's going on. But right now, futures are down. So these markets are very scary. There are people in Italy that are very wealthy that are probably pulling billions out of the market. So we have to recognize that we're going through a global recession because of a virus that may have been man-made, may have come from animals. Nobody really truly knows where it came from, but it's here. It's in 157 countries, whether we like it or not. It's in all of our communities, and some of us are going to get it. So we need to be prepared. And the only way to stop it is to stay indoors, avoid people. I know it's crazy, but that's the world we live in 2020. Denlas says, well, Friday was not the best short day, but at the end of the Friday, I was all in on short again. Was expecting bad news throughout the weekend. Smart. It's been the trend. Very smart. Philip says, hoping OPK stops stalling tomorrow. Yeah, I think there's a lot of people are going to be watching the markets very carefully tomorrow, but we can't just assume that things are going to get better when we don't have a vaccine yet, even though there are some companies claiming they do have the vaccine. They are working on FDA approval. We don't have it on shelves yet, so we need to be prepared for the worst. Thank you, Steven. Steven says, smash that like for Captain Rich. I appreciate you, Steven. Stay safe, brother. Stay safe, everybody. JQ says, if US closed the border or closed the flights to China, how come they have so many cases still? Closing the flights to and from China isn't going to stop the virus in Canada. Russia is right beside China. They're on the border and they closed their border. And Russia has less cases than Canada. Canada decided to fly, Trudeau decided to fly people in from Wuhan, the epicenter of the outbreak. That would have been the last thing I would have done. But then again, I'm not the prime minister. I wouldn't put 37 million lives at risk to save a few hundred. I think that that's the intelligence of a pea brain. But that's just me. Once again, I'm not the prime minister. I haven't been elected prime minister. But that would have been the last thing I would have done. I would have closed my borders. I would have stopped all travel. I would have protected my people. And I would have said, hey, you know what? We're closing our borders until this is figured out. That's what I would have done. I wouldn't have cared about the economy. I would have protected my people first and foremost, protected my people because they are my asset. And then from there, I would have focused on solutions to recover the economy because Canada has more resources, as many resources as anybody in the world. We have everything we need right here in Canada to survive. I would have closed my borders day one as soon as I heard what was happening in China, which was very far from us. But we have many, many people from Wuhan that live in Canada, fly back and forth every day. And that's what I said since day one. I was very concerned about the fact that I live in Vancouver, which is considered by some Honcouver. And I was very concerned that they're going to be flying in. And not only was I concerned, our prime minister decided to fly them in from Wuhan. And I said it was a mistake. I said it day one. Now we have 300 cases and spreading fast. And I believe it's going to continue to spread. And I've been saying that since day one because we do not have a vaccine. There are companies, there's a company in Canada and a company in Israel that are touting that they have a vaccine. I reported on it first. However, that vaccine is not available to the public yet. We do not know what the long-term effects will be. And I don't want to be the guinea pig. Do you want to be the guinea pig? So these are the problems. These are the issues that we're dealing with right now, whether we like it or not. Dylan Fraser says, I bought toilet paper, LOL, but not extra. I think if there's extra toilet paper available, buy it. But if somebody's there and there's one huge bag of toilet paper for you and there's one big bag of toilet paper for them, be courteous and say, hey, that's fine. Take one and I'll take one. Don't take all the toilet paper and then other people are like, yo, come on, man. What is that? Yeah, that's not cool. That's just evil. Sonny Robinson said, soon states are going to quarantine from other states. Yeah, it will happen. It's just a matter of time. Sonny Robinson says, I went to Walmart, shelves are empty. They'll refill them. Fernando says, thoughts on TBT. Richard says, OPK to the moon. Yeah, OPK looks good, but it might go lower, so be careful. Fernando says, Afria going long. I like Afria too, but I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are going to be pulling their money out of the market, so we need to be careful. Sonny Robinson says, in majority of the states, Walmart is empty shelves. Yeah, it's scary. It's scary, but it'll get better. Dylan Fraser says, I do miss watching sports. Yeah, me too, man. Me too. It was weird watching UFC yesterday with no fans. Very weird. But you know what? I could get used to it. Christian Stefan says, Russia did a smart move by closing the border earlier. Exactly. Sonny Robinson said, here in the States, we are preparing for lockdown. It's getting tough to find Clorox bleach. Yeah, I'm not surprised people are going to, get whatever they think they need to get to be survivalists. Brent Jagger says, all domestic travel in the United States will come to a halt. It has to. Global travel ban, bro. I called it weeks ago, man, months ago. Global travel ban. But nobody listened to me. Everybody said I was crazy. Brent Jagger says the United States is about to make a speech at 5. Word on the street is it's going to be martial law. We're going to be in isolation at our homes. Businesses are going to be shut down. Yep. It's a very scary situation. Dylan Fraser says, no shit, bingo. There it is. Joe Cracker says, Rich, you should apply for PM. I'll vote for you, Rich. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate your support, man. Sonny Robinson says they just announced that hauling FEMA relief loads drivers are exempt from driving work hours. Wow. It's getting crazy. Dylan Fraser says someone has to be. Sonny Robinson says Trump biggest mistake, dismantling of the NSC. Yeah, that's going to remain to be seen for sure. Richard Forden says, I feel bad for the PM wife. She will be stuck with Trudeau for a couple weeks at home. Crazy situation there, right? Denlas says, Rich, tomorrow is exactly 1 year that Aurora and cannabis has going down. It's the uptrend start, but Corona is the but. Yeah, I don't know, man, if I could trust that going up. I have no idea. I hope it goes up, but I don't know, man. Blue Flash says, "Hi from India." What's it like in India? I haven't heard much from India. It's not spreading in India? How did they avoid this? Sonny Robinson says, "Trump put 1.5 trillions in oil backing up our petrodollar." I'm not surprised. He said he wants to buy that oil. Philip says, "Think crypto will dip again like it did the other day. I should have bought Litecoin when it hit 25, back to around 36." Yeah, clearly it was a buying opportunity. But who knows? I mean, we're still in the early days of this pandemic. How you doing, Edward? Blue Flash says, "Life is pretty normal here, though." That's weird that India has avoided this all. How has India avoided this all? Leslie Love says, "Hello, guys, here from Tampa, Florida. I've been stockpiling for 3 weeks now, so I am doing a last dash tonight to the store. This shall be interesting." Yeah, just be safe, guys. Be careful. People are going to start getting crazy. Fernando says, "Your thoughts on Kron going into earnings if they ever release them?" I'm not very bullish on them at all. At all. Blue Flash says, "No lockdown here. Nothing is happening here." It's very weird how India has avoided this all. I'm happy that they have because they have a massive population. But how has India avoided this? It's a very good question. Dylan Fraser asks, "Nothing at all?" Blue Flash says, "No, nothing. I'm in Calcutta." No. Dylan Fraser says, "There's no 5G in India yet. That Carnival cruise line was the test flight with 5G remote from the ship. They advertised that on their commercial. Not to mention China ran out 5G in Wuhan test." Yeah, man. And we got 5G here in the US and we got 5G in Canada. So that's a possibility a lot of people are talking about. You're very smart, Brent. Very, very smart putting two and two together. Dylan Fraser says Kron does sell lots of weed. They have lots of cash in the bank. They're running out of cash. They're running out of cash. They're burning through their money very quickly. Sonny Robinson says Taiwan has less cases with 46 and they've been banned by the WHO. Brent Jagger says all the hospitals that were gone up in 6 days in China were 5G regulated. This virus is causing dry lungs. I don't know of any, and ammonia that causes dry lungs. Hey Tree says India has over 1 billion people and right next to China. Maybe the warmer climate helps. There's some people that predict that it is a climate issue, so it's going to be interesting to see as we go into the spring and the summer how that will affect the spread of this. I'm not sure, but when I look at the cases that are being reported, I mean, India is really down there. It's weird, very odd. The amount of cases that India has, it's considering they have 1 billion people. Let's see. India, India, India. India. India has 111 cases, 11 new cases overnight, and 2 deaths. So they have less than Canada. I don't remember India flying people in from Wuhan like we did. Our prime minister decided to fly people in from Wuhan. He decided to risk 37 million lives for the lives of a few hundred. I don't agree with it. Might get me shut down even talking about it. So I'm not going to go so hard to talk about it, but I agree with it. Mind you, I'm not the prime minister. I'm not the one making those decisions. At the time, most Canadians were okay with it. I wasn't. I publicly said I wasn't okay with it. I've been live talking about it. But like I said, I'm not the prime minister. I don't make those decisions. I don't get paid the big bucks to make those decisions. Sonny Robinson says Taiwan is right beside China. They started proactive precautions in the end of December. Smart, very smart. Blue Flash says yes, could be warmer climate helps. I hope that's the case because we are going into the spring and the summer. So hopefully we get some warmer weather soon. Dylan Fraser says, Brent, you saying 5G somehow is related to Corona. Yes, a lot of people are saying, guys, that 5G is unsafe because it's opening up a huge amount of radiation to our bodies, and our bodies can't fight it off. It's like a microwave. And if you have underlying issues, your body can't fight it off because your immune system gets compromised. Joe Cracker says, because of the fact that it takes 1 week for people to start having symptoms and that the numbers seem to double every week, makes me think that whatever number of infections that we get is double. Yeah, it's scary to think what the numbers really are because we don't really know what the real numbers are. Nobody does. Fernando says, could you elaborate on Kron why you're not bullish? It has over 1 billion to burn, plus the US dollar falls, Canadian currency should increase and put stocks should thrive from it. I think that Kron has been delaying their financials because they could have been messing with their numbers, cooking their books. They are now getting investigated. Lawsuits could start. You know, can't just keep delaying your financials. So yeah, I'm very bearish on Kron, to be honest with you. I'm not bullish on Kron at all. Not bullish on anything really right now. I feel like we're going into a recession, so it's a very dangerous time. I'm very scared to see what's going to happen in the market. It doesn't mean that I won't buy. I'll still be buying. I'll still be trading every day. I can make money down. I can short too. But right now, because of what's happening, I was predicting a market melt up in November. That was before the coronavirus. Now that the coronavirus is here, we're going into I think we've already started a recession. People are losing jobs. Everybody's working from home. Countries are in lockdown. 3 countries are already in lockdown. So, yeah, I think things can get much worse before they get better. But I hope I'm wrong. Blue Flash says only 2 deaths here. Yeah, so far India's doing a good job. Brent Jagger says, yes, I'm saying 5G is the corona cover-up. They tested it in Wuhan. It was the testing. Or look it up. The Carnival Cruise Line had 5G. America has 5G. Dry cough. It puts a spin on oxygen, which is O2. Brent Jagger says, not to mention, I don't know of any pneumonia that doesn't cause fluid in the lungs. This is dry lungs because both lungs collapse. I don't know of any pneumonia that makes people fall over. Frontline DIY says, Rich Unshaven, did you party your ass off last night? Just messing with you. I partied last night. Partied in isolation, brother. I mean, how are you going to party right now? How do we party right now? What kind of party would it be? Party where you can't touch? It's weird, man. The world just got weird. Brent says 5G is a military weapon, and many scientists and doctors said not to roll it out. And the elite decided to. The United States goes under martial law today. Mark my word. Oh, man. That's some scary stuff. Green Bull says, hi, everybody. Just joining chat. Not sure if it was brought up yet, but here in Ontario now, they are talking about keeping schools closed till September. Yeah. It's going to happen, people, whether we like it or not. Get ready. Get ready for isolation. Hey, Tree says, Fernando, Canadian dollar is getting weaker against US. Sonny Robinson says, America, we should have been taking notes from Taiwan and their democracy. They said they tracked and quarantined people through their phones, plus made the high-risk people quarantine. Very smart. Fernando says, TBT, Dust, VIX, and Bear ETFs is the bull market. Let me write those picks down. I like finding out your guys' picks. Let me write those down. Fernando. Thank you, Fernando. Guys, any VIX plays, let's write them down. Let's get them all. This is how we make money in a bear market. Because we're going into a recession whether we like it or not. The market can get pumped. The Treasury can pump up, the Fed can pump up the market, the Canadian government can pump up the market. But at the end of the day, we all know that the people are going to suffer. How are they going to protect the people? Are they going to just give us money? We need to get all the VIX, VIXYs, VIXMs. We need to load up on the VIXs right now. Green Bull says Kron would be in trouble because of working with the natives. Not sure though. I remember the guy that did the Shannonville Reserve video. Edward says till September. Ouch. Well, I mean, school was almost done, right? March, April, May, June. School had 4 months left. Yeah, suspend it. Whatever, man. Stay home with your families. Stay safe. It's better to be safe than sorry. This is our children. We got to protect our children. I agree with that. Whatever it takes, man. Whatever it takes right now. It's going to be 6 months, guys. We need to be prepared. 6 months. It will be until November that vaccines will be on the shelf. So far that what I've heard, there are vaccines that will be on the shelves by November. So we need to try to stay safe until November. Sonny Robinson says Obama assembled the NSC to fight against bioweaponry like Taiwan has done. Yeah, it's a crazy world that we need to fight against bioweaponry, right? Blue Flash says experts saying children are immune from this. No, they're not. It's not true. Children are getting it too. They just have the ability to fight it better because they have stronger immune systems. But the people that are very susceptible are very young, toddlers, from what I've heard, and older people. But I'm not an expert. All right, guys. Thank you guys for joining me. I wanted to bring you guys an update on the coronavirus. I think we've kind of gone through it. 167,638 cases, 6,456 deaths, 76,596 recovered. All the past, rest in peace. May all the sick get well, stay strong, build your immune systems, everybody. Work on your health. Remember, your health is your wealth. Stay safe. I'm praying for the 157 countries and territories and one cruise line that has been infected and everybody that's been touched by this. China, 80,849 cases, 3,199 deaths, 10 deaths overnight, 66,931 recoveries. Italy, which is just frightening right now, where apparently it's being reported is the worst in the world right now, 24,747 cases, 3,590 overnight, 1,809 deaths, 368 deaths overnight, 2,335 people have recovered. Iran, 13,938 total cases, 1,209 new cases overnight, 724 total deaths, 113 overnight, 4,590 recovered. South Korea, 8,162 total cases, 76 cases overnight, 75 deaths, 3 new deaths overnight, 834 recoveries. Spain, now in lockdown, 7,798 cases, 1,407 overnight, 292 deaths, 96 overnight, 517 recovered. Germany, 5,795 cases, 1,196 new cases overnight, 11 deaths, 2 deaths overnight, 46 recoveries. France, 4,499 cases, 30 new cases overnight, 91 deaths, 12 recoveries. United States, in 8th spot in the world in cases, 3,313, 370 overnight, 63 deaths, 6 deaths overnight, 59 recoveries. Canada, where I am, 313 cases, 61 overnight, reportedly 1 death and 11 recoveries. Thank you guys for watching. Stay safe, everybody. The markets are red. If there's any other big breaking news, I'll bring it to you guys as it happens. Thank you guys for watching. I really appreciate it. I appreciate your involvement. Thank you guys for smashing the likes button. Thank you guys for sharing these videos. I appreciate you guys. Without you guys, none of this is possible. This is your boy Rich from Rich TV Live. I'm out. Peace. Remember, guys, treat each other with respect.